The advertising agency business is tough. It's fraught with problems and unmet opportunities. In fact, the ad agency business has never been tougher in the history of our industry. And yet, even today, most of us go into our ad agencies and do nothing but pitch. We pitch our stations, we pitch our specials, we pitch our programs, we pitch our ratings, and we never once sit down to ask the agency, what are you dealing with? At the planner level, at the buyer level, at the CEO level, at the president level of the agency. So in this tip, we're going to focus on problem and opportunity questions that you should be asking of the advertising agency personnel that you have an opportunity to interact with. First, let's look at this concept of problem and opportunity questions. These are questions about pain or desire that the agency's faced with. Now, this could be for a media buyer, it could be for a planner, it could be for an account executive at the agency. They all have their own sets of pain that they're dealing with in working with their customers, and they all have desires or opportunities that they would like to achieve in working with those same clients and customers. These questions often uncover what lies below the surface. In other words, they don't necessarily sit around all day long and think about these missed opportunities, but when you come along and ask questions about them, they start thinking differently about their agency and about their business. And when they start thinking differently about their agency and their business, they also start thinking differently about potential solutions to deal with the problems they're faced with and to take advantage of the opportunities that they've not yet been able to take advantage of. So let's look at some specific questions that you need to start asking of the agency personnel that you interact with. The first question could be, do you see any significant problems in bringing the buy-in on target? Now, that's clearly a question that you're going to ask the media buyer, but it also could be a question that you would ask the media planner. Second question, are the expectations you're dealing with realistic given the current advertising market? And we can just about guarantee you that any agency you ask that question of today, the answer is going to be absolutely not. So right away, the agency knows that you're empathizing with the position that they're in and that you're understanding what they're dealing with. Third question you might ask, what are the biggest issues you deal with after the buy is placed? Too often we focus on getting the buy and not managing the buy afterwards, and that becomes for the agency the biggest pain that they deal with. Fourth question that you could ask, do you see any significant problems in reaching your target markets effectively with the budgets you're working with on this buy? And again, we know most often the answer is going to be absolutely huge problems in dealing with it. So those are just 4 questions that you might ask of the advertising agency personnel that you deal with. After you've asked those questions, paraphrase back to them what you heard. If I understand you correctly, ... Hey, I want to make sure I have this, ... And last but not least, take notes when you ask these questions. And then share your notes back with the person that you're talking to make sure that you clearly understood the pain, the issues, and the opportunities that they articulated during that conversation. Now, those were just 4 problem and opportunity questions, but there are a lot more inside the Sales Coach. Go to the Conducting a Meeting section of the Sales Coach under the Templates section, and you will find this Problem and Opportunity Questions template filled out with problem and opportunity questions for all the major selling categories, including advertising agency personnel. Use those questions to formulate your own questions, and the next time you go into an ad agency, watch how your relationship begins to change.